There we are. There we are. Can't hear myself again. What is going on? Let me see. There we go. Now I can hear myself. Always something. Always something. Welcome. My wife is taking the garbage out. That's why I was laughing, because she said she was going to drive down, and I guess she decided to muscle it down the mountain herself. Yes, I should have done it, but I didn't, because I was getting ready to do this live stream. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Steve. The show is called Wake Up America. I'm going to be your host for the next hour. This is live. It is 6:58 on the East Coast. Oh boy. Of course, I want to start off the show by first thanking Spartan Armor Systems. As you can see, they are the sponsor for this show up here. They make, and I said I was going to show you guys because I keep forgetting to. This is a extra large soft plate carrier. I don't know what you would. I forgot the actual term. I should have looked it up. But this thing, you can ask my brother. I showed him too. This probably weighs 7 pounds. It's got a front plate. It's got the plate inside and plate outside. And yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what one of the plates look like. There's the stars, man. Thank you for whoever sent the stars. So this is a Spartan Armor soft plate, and this one is a level 3A. It's 11 by 14. It was made in Tucson, Arizona, where it just so happens Spartan Armor System is based, and it was manufactured last year. So yeah, it's a SAS Playa 3A1114, 5-year manufacturer and warranty. I believe these retail for right around, $300 with the plate carrier, I believe. Could be wrong on that. But if you use code YEET during your checkout, you could get this and all your other good stuff. Sorry, you guys are going to have to bear with that noise. Because I'm not going to mess with it right now. But since 2012, Spartan Armor Systems has been a leader in high-quality ballistic body armor and tactical gear. Their mission is to provide first responders and citizens alike with the affordable and reliable body armor that they deserve. They offer a wide selection of body armor, plate carriers, steel targets, med kits, and very, very competitive pricing. Now, this is not going to be that cheap stuff that you find on wish.com, so don't go complaining and say, well, Steve, this is $300, or the level 4, tactical plate carrier and plates and all that is $500. Well, yeah, of course, you're getting U.S.-made plates. You're getting a company, support from an awesome company. They've been sponsoring our show for about a year now, and they are awesome. But in addition to plate carriers, they also make steel targets, med kits, awesome hats. My hats are all still packed away. We haven't unpacked them yet. And a whole bunch of other stuff. They proudly manufacture all the Spartan Omega AR 500 body armor and AR 550 and Armaply AR 650 steel core body armor in the United States. If you're looking for the best safety solutions in body armor for sale, you should look no further than SpartanArmorSystems.com and make sure you use code YEET. That's YEET and get yourself 10% off of your order. All right, you guys ready? So I'm going to play a video, and this is what we're going to start. And I only have one thing to talk about, and it's this video. And you may see that in the background now I have the green screen obviously set up. We bought some of those, what the hell are they called? These things, command strips. So we bought some command strips, and it works surprisingly well, actually. And it's good because I'll be able to take it down. Anyway, I'm going to be playing a particular video that many of you guys have seen, especially if you follow me on Twitter, PT News Network on Twitter, which I suggest if you don't follow already, you probably should because, and they won't verify me either, so we're doing something right. They won't verify Ford Fisher either, too. He applied and was denied. I applied and was denied. Such garbage. Anyway, I'm going to play this video. Now, many of you guys have seen this, and if you haven't, prepare to be offended.
Really need to get serious about talking about what this threat is. I think you said it really well, Joe, a minute ago, where you talked about...
So maybe I should give context here. Hold on. Maybe I should give context. Let me pause this. All right, so this lady is Mara Gray. She's with the New York Times. She's a member of the editorial board. She's also a CNN contributor. She's also on MSNBC. Listen to some of the stuff she has to say, and I'm going to play it in its entirety. It's about 3 minutes, and I may pause in just to vomit or something like that, but I'm going to play the majority of it every now and then, and I want you guys all to listen when I stop talking.
It's really concerning to me that the Democrats haven't just gone ahead at this point and said we're doing this on our own in terms of getting a commission together to explain to the American people how we allowed the insurrection to take place in the Capitol. I think that really needs to move forward swiftly. The reality is here that we have a large percentage of the American population. I don't know how big it is, but we have tens of millions of Trump voters who continue to believe
81 million.
Their rights as citizens are under threat by simple virtue of having to share the democracy with others. I think as long as they see Americanness as the same as one with whiteness, this is going to continue. We have to figure out how to get every American a place at the table in this democracy, but how to separate Americanness, America, from whiteness. Until we...
All right, and if she didn't already say enough to rant about just in that little brief second, I'm going to let it play out into what I found the most offensive, hence the background, hence what I'm going to show you here in a second. But as if she didn't say already enough. Already enough is weird, but just listen. Everything she said so far is
He can confront that and talk about that. This is really going to continue. I was on Long Island this weekend visiting a really dear friend, and I was really disturbed. I saw, dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with, explicatives against Joe Biden on the back of them, Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which is also just disturbing because essentially the message was clear. It was, this is my country. This is not your country. I own this. And so until we're ready.
All right. So I've got a message for you, Mara Gray, or whatever your name is. You are right. This is our country. And to say the flag is disturbing, I have a couple of questions, a couple of photos just to see if she still feels the same. Granted, she's not going to watch my show. Is this disturbing? Remember that? That's the American flag on the moon. Is that disturbing? Because she said it's disturbing. How about this? September 11th, where they hoisted the flag. Is that disturbing, you stupid asshole? Let's keep going. How about this? Is this disturbing? Or this? Is this disturbing? Or this? Is this disturbing? Or maybe you want something more recent. How about the wildfires last year? Is this disturbing? Or this? These I'm trying to be like mellow. You know how hard it is to like not just completely lose my crap. I had a plumber at my house today. He may be watching. Shout out to you. And we were talking about this stuff, and we're like, when is that point? And then he asked me about the indictments in New York. Do I think they're going to indict Donald Trump? Here's the thing. They are vilifying. It's not even enough to be a Trump supporter. Now, if you have an American flag on your house, that is disturbing. If you have a truck, a pickup truck, God forbid, and you have an American flag hanging from the back of it, that's disturbing. If you have an American flag tattooed on you, that's disturbing. If you fought for this country under that American flag, or you wear it as part of your uniform or whatever, that is disturbing to someone high up in the left-wing media world. That is what's disturbing. The agenda that is constantly pushed down our throats all the time. Now, Fox News, I got to give it to them. They played this, and they had a couple of conversations back about it, and people saying, well, yes, it's very weird that someone would come out and say that. And then you even have people playing devil's advocate and saying, well, the American flag is a racist symbol. Here's a news flash here. If you want to change the past, you remember it. You don't hide it. You don't change. You don't remove it. If you want to change what the negative shit that it was done in the past, you move forward. You move through it. You don't take apart everything. And for this idiot, that's the only thing I can. That's the only verb that I could say live here. Idiot. She gets on national television and says that the American flag is disturbing. Every single police officer, every single plumber, every single person, every single American, Democrat, Republican, independent, liberal, atheist, I don't give a shit. Every single one of you should be offended. I have family that served. I have family that still served. I was a firefighter. I have family that are police officers. I lost friends. This is stupid. And this is what's going on in our country. And this is now acceptable. This is the new normal, that it's acceptable. She wants Democrats have to act on their own now. And we can no longer wait for our judicial system. Or look at the way we talked about it yesterday. So I'm not going to talk about the insurrection or the riots a ton, because we did it yesterday ad nauseum and I don't feel like it. But this is what everyone is doing, is they're just pushing this agenda. And here's the truth. If they can continue to do this, if CNN and MSNBC and NBC and ABC and everybody can keep putting, New York Times, Washington Post, everybody can keep pumping this shit down your throat, and that's all you hear, they will be successful in vilifying anyone that is flying an American flag. They will be successful in vilifying anyone that doesn't vote Democratic. Down the Democrat party line. That's what they want. And that's why they're doing it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Why the hell are you here? Here's my real question. I'm not saying it to be mean. If you think the American flag is disturbing, get out. Go somewhere else. Go up to Canada. They probably don't want you either. Go somewhere. It's anywhere else where you won't be disturbed by it. Because I think really what everyone should do is every single person in America, whether you're Democrat, Republican or not, should go out and buy an American flag and should fly that shit proudly. Because it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or not. It's still your damn country. That flag, to me and to many, many millions of people, that flag is a remembrance of the people that fought for it. You can't even describe it. It is America. It is me. It is you. That flag symbolizes everything that we preach about, everything that we talk about, the good and the bad. It's so stupid. You have people commenting like this dumbass from the New York Times that gets up here and talks about how the flag is disrespectful or whatever the hell she said. And yet they're flying Black Lives Matter flags at U.S. embassies across the United States. I mean, man. And she's not the only one. People have said it. I've seen people in my chats that have said it, about the American flag. I mean, it's outrageous when you really think about it, and you think about how much work goes into, or how much effort goes into writing all these negative things. Now, the New York Times, didn't they just put out some big thing about the insurrection hunters, or the insurrectionist hunters? Hackers that are violating, and hacking into things to try to identify people that are committing these crimes. And yet we have to have a slew of Republican senators actually finally demand that the Biden administration does something about Antifa, who is attacking journalists in Portland. It doesn't make any sense. When you really look at the big picture of everything, nothing that is currently going on, unless you wanted to say, oh, this is an attempt. Here's my truthful belief. I don't think they're trying to start a civil war or none of that shit. I think what they're trying to do is just turn everybody against with that term rhino and everything. That's what they want. They want the Republican Party to be completely fractured, and hopefully they'll get the independent vote. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of conservatives that weren't the biggest fans of Donald Trump or his, not necessarily him. Because if you actually look at what he did in office, guess what? You're his fan because you actually would see everything that happens. Look at what's happened since then. Our unemployment rate hasn't, miraculously got better. Yeah, we added 500,000 jobs that we lost because Democratic governors and Democratic mayors and everybody locked down their cities for half of the damn year last year. So he didn't add new jobs. He gets up and he lies to the American people, hoping that you're stupid enough that you're not going to realize that when he says we added 500 jobs, the most out of both President Obama, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump. We've added more jobs than all of them. Yeah, you added jobs that were taken away by unconstitutional lockdowns. Congratulations. My guess is that the reason why they're doing this and the reason why the media is feeding, and one, they don't have someone in the White House that's constantly being, in front of the press and speaking like an American, like a normal person. You know what I mean? Given all Donald Trump's fault, the one thing you could count on him, when he would get up there to speak, he was going to tell it to you just exactly how he felt. He wasn't going to sugarcoat anything, and he sure as shit wasn't going to lie. He didn't do it. He didn't have to. Half the time he said shit that that annoyed him. Half the time when I would watch him, unless it was a debate, because the guy's legendary at debates. But, if I'm watching a press conference, I'm like, damn, dude, shut up. Like, stop talking. You already made your point, but now you're just kind of going in circles. But that's who he was. And that's the reason why he got so many votes. And that's the reason why we have this new breed of political candidates that are running now. And now, that aren't even in office yet. Yeah, you have the Matt Gaetz and the Greens and all the other Boberts and all those other people that are running or that are in already. But there's a new breed of politicians that are coming in, and they're the ones that I spoke about. And I said, you don't want people like me, like true Americans, like not career politicians. You don't want those type of people running for office, because if you do, they're going to take the same approach that Donald Trump did, and they're going to break down the way everything is done. They're going to break down everything. And they did such a great job. I guarantee they sit in some little, pot-filled smoke room. You hear what they're doing in Washington? Wow, that transition. You hear what they're doing in Washington now? If you go and get vaccinated, they give you a joint. What the fuck? What is going on? That's all I can say. And that's real. Now in Washington State, if you go get your vaccination shot, they'll give you a joint. No joke. No joke, man. This is real. Now I just saw a news thing. It's like, hey, 35 million families across the United States are going to get some letter that's going to outline how much money you're going to get, because you're going to get your child tax credit in advance instead of having to file the taxes and do all that as a way to boost the economy. Man, you want to boost the economy. Take all the unemployment benefits away. I remember that I knew people that were on unemployment, and they had to do like checklists, like you're on probation when you're going to look for a job. You had to go into all these places and you had to have them sign off that you actually tried to apply for a job and they declined to hire you. That's what should be happening in the United States now. You want to talk about Big Brother overreach and all that shit? I don't give a shit. I would support that 100%. But for some reason, it's just the simpler solution now is just hey, go ahead. Here you go. Here's some free money. Don't worry about going back to work. When Cracker Barrel can't even get a full dishwashing staff, or the restaurants or construction companies, they can't even get enough money, enough people to come and work for them, let alone the cost of materials that are so high, let alone the fact that gas is through the roof. I had to pay $3.20 today for gas, because I was way out of my way to make a drop off. If you're watching, that wasn't on the way home, but I had to stop and get gas. And I was like, why am I going to pay $3.20? So I put, $30 in, and then got home, and then I'll fill it in the morning when I go back to where I was. But we live in such a weird time where people just, this sense of God, I don't even know what it is. How do I even touch on her whiteness? Because people's whiteness gives them the privilege to fly the American flag or vote for Trump, and that Democrats have to. Let's listen again to what this dumbass said, just because I don't even remember anymore.
That conversation, this is going to continue. What really is concerning to me as well is it's not just Democrats in Congress. I think there's a large percentage of Americans, even some of my colleagues in journalism, who are invested in some way in pretending that this isn't the threat that it is. That is the real concern.
So I just realized why that wasn't making any sense, because that was the end. That's what she kept going on. So here, let me play this again. Sorry. Why isn't this?
Really well, Joe, a minute ago, where you talked about the need to stop being surprised by all of this and start taking it seriously. It's really concerning to me that the Democrats haven't just gone ahead at this point and said we're doing this on our own in terms of getting a commission together to explain to the American people how we allowed the insurrection to take place in the Capitol.
She must not pay attention to the national news headlines, because we know how it was allowed to happen. Because here's the truth. If you want to go, God darn, we're going to talk about it again. If you want to know the truth, the Capitol police officer requested assistance 7 times prior to, and each time it was denied because of optics. You know who he asked? He asked the sergeant at arms for the House and the Senate. You know who their boss was? Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump, 2 days prior to the planned protests that were supposed to take place, he offered up 10,000 National Guard members to protect it, because the chief, the U.S. Capitol Police chief, was nervous. Everybody was nervous because they knew that something was going to happen. The mayor declined it. The mayor declined the National Guard troops. Again, the police chief asked for National Guard backup. He again was told no because of the optics. So you want to know who's behind it? I want to know that as well. That's why I don't think an insurrection commission, they call it a riot commission, or as someone, dear to me says, it wasn't a riot, it was an attack. And yeah, I agree. It was an attack on our democracy. I've said that several times, but it wasn't an insurrection. There's no way you could say it was. But I agree with forging a commission together and speaking, and bringing all those people and holding people accountable. There was just something put together today or released yesterday that talks about the massive failures from everyone from the Pentagon to the Capitol Police to the Metropolitan Police Department to the mayor's office to everybody except the people that actually were the ones that are saying, no, we don't want any reinforcements. The only question that should be asked, and the one that the mainstream media is not focused on, is why did the U.S. Capitol Police officer request 7 times prior? He actually held a meeting specifically for this, where he met with the U.S. the House Sergeant at Arms and the Senate Sergeant at Arms, and he sat there and he said, "I want backup," and they said, I think they made a phone call and then denied his backup. And this is the thing, he called the National Guard himself to ask them if they were going to be ready, to have a readiness crew ready. He did that himself. So you want to know where the fault lies? Not only does it lie with the idiots that stormed the Capitol that day, because it does, some responsibility lies with them. Obviously, they're criminals. And I'm not talking about the people that were peacefully protesting either. I'm talking about the criminals that entered that building as criminals, like climbing through a broken window or punching a cop. You guys are all scumbags, in my humble opinion. But I agree with it, Insurrection Commission. I agree with it. I think they should do it. I want to know what happened. That's my damn capital, because unfortunately for this dumbass, or this one I should point down here, for that idiot, this is my country. I want to know what happened. This is my flag. I want to know. I want to know what happened on January 6th, and not the CNN version of what happened, and that Donald Trump, even though he said peaceful, we're going to edit out his clip so he doesn't say peaceful. No, I want the real version. I want the U.S. Capitol Police to release all their footage from inside. I want to see it. I want to scour through it. I want to build a timeline of what actually happened from the moment Donald Trump was talking. And yes, while Donald Trump was talking, they had already breached the Capitol, but nobody wants to talk about that either, because apparently when Donald Trump said, hey, let's walk peacefully and protest and fight, let's walk peacefully and protest, everybody ignores that. They just say, he said fight. He said we're going to march to the Capitol. What about the peacefully part? Like, you can't take it out. I know. And here's the thing, is they've been doing it for Donald Trump, or to Donald Trump, for months and months and months, years, since before he even was elected. There were some nice people, some bad people, nice people. Again, with the whole Charlottesville thing. They cut it up, clipped it out. I played that clip for someone one day, and that was like, oh, Donald Trump said there were some good people at the Charlottesville thing. And I'm like, nah, there were some good people that were expressing their First Amendment rights on both sides. There were also Nazi scumbags, and there were also BLM terrorists there. You can't dispute that. And that's what Donald Trump said. But because he said it in a way that allowed them to clip it, because now if you're in media or you're in the public spectrum, now you literally have to say everything and then immediately follow it through, and then split your sentences. So you could say, now is time to peace. No, now is time for us to march gallantly, peacefully, and not be able to put together a full sentence, because you got to just insert all these media things. Or, I don't know what the term is. There's got to be something, where so they can't edit it out, because that's what media does. And then they pursue it like it's real. But Fox News doesn't do that. Conservative media isn't selectively editing things to leave things out or to get a message across. We don't have to. You got idiots like Maxine Waters and Pelosi and all the other AOC. God, look at that dumbass. But think about it. What harm would an insurrection commission cause? They're not going to be able to blame anything else on Donald Trump. And the only thing that could possibly come out is that's going to provide evidence that us, the people that actually believe in our damn country, unlike this dumbass, the people that actually believe in our country and believe in our flag, now we get some final understanding of what actually happened. Because right now, nobody knows. Nobody really knows what happened at the Capitol. Yeah, we know there are some Antifa scumbags, and I also know there were some Trump supporters that breached that Capitol. But I want to know what the actual, evidence is. I read all these DOJ complaints, before they seal them. I read all of these trying to find just somehow, like some, coordination. Unfortunately, the only bit, besides this whole Oath Keeper bullshit that they keep talking about, a bunch of people LARPing, besides them, the only coordination that you hear in any sort of reporting at all comes from the only John Sullivan. That's it. And the guy's so dumb that he televised everything and made live streams. And then he tried to delete them, but they were all there. Obama said, on CNN that conservative new media is the problem. Yeah, he's saying me. He's saying everyone. He's not even talking about Fox News, but Obama said that too. That conservative media is stoking this white supremacy. Dude, come on. Like, do you not understand that the only thing that they're trying to do, you know how easy it would be to convert someone right now that's a Democrat and that believes this mess, to be honest? The only thing you got to do is share this video or share, maybe not this video because I'm swearing because I'm pissed, but share a different video where someone could actually be like, okay, this is what you're learning on CNN and this is the actual truth. What you're hearing or what you're reading in the New York Times isn't real. This is what really happened. Because you could back it up with the receipts. That's why all the CNN, it's unnamed sources or unconfirmed, unnamed unicorn sources that flew in on the back of a beetle, and they came in and they whispered in our ear that they heard from someone who heard from someone else for someone else who was familiar with the situation, someone else who was familiar with that person's mindset, and that's how they got to this. You ever heard of that game Telephone where one person says fish, and by the time it gets to the end, it's like, hey, Jack Rabbit jumped up and ran over a bridge. That's what's happening now. All these people are anonymous sources, and Fox News uses it too. You will never see a PT News article where we list an anonymous source, because we'll never do it. And I don't give a shit. We won't even write the story. If I had someone right now that called and said, hey, I got a wish to be anonymous in this, we're not writing the story unless I could verify it a million times by somebody else. And it's not because I don't want to say, support you in your, in your news tip. It's because I'm not going to be like the other guys. I'm not going to do it. Everyone else is listening to all these anonymous sources, these fake people, these people that don't exist. And when they have to do a retraction, nothing ever comes of it. Didn't the New York Times have to do a big retraction a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago for writing some story and saying all these people said this thing, and then we all found out that it was fucking bull. And as soon as we found out it was bull, they printed a little retraction, and they're like, oh, well, like, sorry, journalism's dead. Go ahead. Let's listen to more of this dumbass.
I think that really needs to move forward swiftly. The reality is here that we have a large percentage of the American population. I don't know how big it is, but we have tens of millions of Trump voters who
She said 10 millions of Trump voters, and this is supposedly an educated lady. 10 millions of Trump supporters. I believe, 81 million people voted for Donald Trump? 81 million people.
Continue to believe that their rights as citizens are under threat by simple virtue of having to share the democracy with others.
She said, they need to... How can you say our rights are not under threat? Here's a really good one. So you guys know this video is on YouTube, and this is oh god. All right, so let me explain how it works being a YouTuber and making content on YouTube. This video is on YouTube, it's on Facebook, Twitch, D Live, it's on our own platforms, and it's also streaming to our beta app and all that stuff, testing it all out. Now, YouTube is a way we make money. Now, what YouTube does, and I know Google mods are here, and you may be super pissed and all that stuff, but I speak the truth. So I have a video that's gone viral recently. In the past week, it went viral. And it's of the actual truck driver that was filming that, captured last year a motorcycle that was driving entirely too fast. The motorcycle crashed. The driver went over the rider went over an embankment. Doesn't show any bodily gore or anything like that. So the video was monetized forever. Almost a year, the video was monetized. Then it became limited for no reason. Except that now something happened and it went from 60,000 views to 400,000. So I applied to have the video remonetized because I had a feeling it was going to go viral. Guess what? They denied it. The truck driver cursed a couple of times, but that's not unacceptable. It didn't show any bodily carnage or anything, but this is the truth, and I firmly believe it. YouTube deliberately did not monetize that video because they can see by them shadow banning all of these videos and by kicking off all the conservative talk show hosts and demonetizing anyone. There's not very many conservative YouTubers that people that are broadcasting to YouTube that still have. Look at my followers, 66,700 or whatever. I've been there forever. I can't get more, even though every month my reports show 8,000 more subscribers. It still will not go up. They are definitely trying to censor us. They're definitely trying to, because they can't necessarily kick us off the platform. So what they're trying to do is make it so no one could see the damn thing. So we're not getting super chats and all that during the shows. And we can't monetize the videos because they keep limiting them for no reason. Like my video yesterday was limited. It ended with 1,500 live viewers. They just after me objecting to it and appealing it, then they just fixed it and remonetized it. But all the main viewers that I'd get, the extra couple of thousand views, those are gone. I don't make any money off of it. It's the easiest way just to starve people. It's just the easiest way. And she says, 81 million people feel like their rights are being infringed. The fuck? Yes, we do. If we can't say what we really want, April actually wrote an article the other day about the lab leak theory, saying, hey, guess what, guys? It turns out the lab leak theory may not be a theory as much as it may be something that actually happened. Facebook deleted the thing. They didn't put a false news or anything else because we would have fought that and we would have won. They didn't put any fake news, lead stories, didn't do any reply on it because we would have fought that and we would have won. Facebook single-handedly sent us a message saying, hey, your content violates our terms. We're not telling you what terms they are and you can't do shit about it. We are limiting your video and limiting your distribution. It's just another way. So every single time, remember I was demonetized on YouTube for what? It was not even 30 days. I was demonetized for something they're like, oh, sorry, my bad. And they remonetized us. Except the one video that went viral and had 2 million views was not monetized. Except it was monetized, but I just don't get it. YouTube gets it. So that's at least 4 million views of monetizable YouTube videos that they probably did monetize based on that new thing that came out where they can monetize videos even if we're not part of their monetization policy. That's literally the plan. It's to stifle that and keep going. People feel like Trump supporters and conservatives and people that like this flag behind us, those people feel like their rights are being infringed. You're certainly right, we do. You're trying to attack the Second Amendment. You are trying to say because one Syrian-born immigrant that happened to use a pistol round with a brace or something, that now all semi-automatic weaponry, whether it's a rifle, gun, hand, anything, has to be banned. There are people actually calling for that now because of somebody else, notwithstanding the fact that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of minorities are killed every month by other minorities. That doesn't matter. And by the fact that they're using illegal guns. Isn't it weird how Ted Wheeler will, he's a mayor in Portland, Oregon, if you guys don't know, how Ted Wheeler will comment about a mass shooting that happens in Florida, but will not talk about the mass shootings that are happening because of gang violence when they have a 800% increase in shootings in his own city, because it doesn't fit the agenda. It's not white people killing people. It's not mass shootings, even though the majority of the mass shootings, contrary to what CNN says, the majority of the mass shootings, in fact, I would hazard a guess of over 70% of the people behind those guns, of those mass shootings since this year has started, they're not white. And the majority, almost all the victims, are not white either. And a huge percentage of those people are kids. But yet, white supremacy is the huge problem that everyone keeps addressing. Are white supremacists, here's a question for you, are white supremacists out attacking Asian journalists or Asian people in general across the United States currently? Because you would think, based on the FBI and the Homeland Security's guidance on who the biggest threat in our country is, you would think that it would be white supremacists, right? Wrong. It's not. It's Antifa in Portland attacking Andy No, a journalist, an Asian journalist, and then people that happen not to be white randomly attacking Asian people across the United States, and yet they're still blaming Donald Trump for that. They're saying anti-Asian rhetoric and the Kung Flu stuff and all that stuff, and saying it's the China virus and all that. That's what's causing these people that likely did not vote for him anyway, let alone vote for anybody. It's so stupid. It's so dumb, man. See, someone, Loza said, I'm hitting that button, it won't work. Keeps declining even though I have money in my account. Yeah, there's always something. I get messages. Here's the best way, guys. If you want to contribute, go to ptnewsnetwork.com/support. Screw big tech. Screw big tech. I'll be honest, when this app is released, this video will be live. All of our on-demand content is going to be on demand, and we're going to cancel all the memberships. So if you're a YouTube member, Facebook member, PTN member, Twitch member, supporter, whatever, they're all done, because I'm done supporting big tech. I'll post my videos there and we won't monetize them, and we'll have our own monetization through the app. But if you want to support it and you can't get it to work because YouTube's trying to make it so it doesn't work, or Facebook won't, a lot of people message me and say they tried to send it on Facebook and it doesn't work. Go to ptnewsnetwork.com/support. There's all the different ways. You could do Venmos, Cash Apps, all that. Speaking of different ways that we make money here, watch, see, transitions today. I'm on fire. Just CBD. You can't really see that. Now, disclaimer for Just CBD. I'm a big believer in CBD gummies. If you're moving cross country, do not leave your CBDs in your truck overnight, because they melt and then it becomes one giant CBD that you can't use anymore. Anyway, do you miss the good old days of when you would roll out of bed every morning looking and feeling completely refreshed? Let's face it, millions of men and women have been deprived of sleep thanks to physical and mental stress like that. Where's this? Like listening to that lady. Thankfully, you can rely on Just CBD to unwind your mind and body. Each and every piece of CBD merchandise they sell is legal in all 50 states, as well as FDA approved and laboratory tested to ensure consumer safety. Check out the link provided in the description of this video. And here's a new one, because they reached out to me because we've sold so many already. I am now able to offer you guys 20% off. Use the code CITIZEN20. Citizen20, all one word, but the number 20, Citizen20, and you'll get 20% off your whole order. Now, I wouldn't take this if you're drug tested, even though it's under the percentage and you can test it by, there's little, what do you call those things? The things you scan with your camera, QR codes, where it'll tell you the whole lab results. I don't know about Just CBD, but I know about other companies. If you're a truck driver or you're a cop, you probably shouldn't take CBD as much unless you're in Washington State. But you can't do it if you're a trucker, because you may get, I know a cop in Florida that was taking CBD oil, not from this company. He tested positive, lost his job. I know truckers that lost their job. So if you get drug tested, do not take it. But if you're like me and you have trouble sleeping, or you have joint pain, or you have moderate pain even, or you're just stressed out all the time, I'm not a doctor, but I tell you, Just CBD is the best CBD that I've tried, and it works wonders. I take it every day. Now I do it through the vape because I have to order more of this, because this is literally, it's just one giant gummy. It would be fun if I did it. But you don't get high or anything like that. You just get a feeling of like, this is great. Anyway, let's listen to this stupid ass. Let's listen to what she has to say.
I think as long as they see Americanness as the same as one with whiteness, this is going to continue. We have to figure out how.
Now, isn't it weird? So for anyone who's just tuning in, I'm not going to rehash who this lady is. Just watch from the beginning of the video. It's been what, 38-minute rant so far about this one video. But people have to be able to separate their Americanness from their whiteness. What? Like, okay, so now you're not, if you're an American and you're proud to be an American and you're proud of this flag, that means you're proud of your whiteness, which means it's your privilege, which means you don't like black people or minorities in general. That's what she's saying, right? Does anyone know? Let's even play that again, because that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Let's play it again. Ready?
As the same as one with whiteness, as long as they see Americanness as the same as one with whiteness, this is going to continue. We have to figure out how to get every American a place at the table in this democracy.
Does anyone not understand the double negative she just said? As long as people think Americanness is whiteness, we need to figure out how to get everyone a seat at the table in this democracy. What? You were literally talking about censoring a whole group of Americans, then follow up that by saying we need to find a way to work together? What the hell is going on, dude? How is this lady even on TV? I know I curse a lot, but if you need a personality, like, come on, man. I'm willing. I'll go on TV and I'll tell you guys what the truth is and what's really going on. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. But this lady could talk about whiteness and this and that. Oh my goodness. And everyone wants a seat at the table. I don't even want to play anymore, but I'm doing it anyway.
But how to separate Americanness, America, from whiteness. Until we can confront that and talk about that, this is really going to continue. I was on Long Island this weekend visiting a really dear friend, and I was really disturbed. I saw, dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with, explicatives against Joe Biden on the back of them, Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which is also just disturbing because essentially the message was clear. It was, this is my country. This is not your country.
So when this dumbass sees the American flag and sees what's undoubtedly a white person holding that flag, I wonder if she'd feel the same. That would be a good social experiment. To walk down the streets of wherever, let's go to the most liberal town ever. Walk down the streets of it and holding an American flag, and you got a white dude and you got a black dude, and they're on different ends of the town, or even better, they're on the same ends of the town, and they're walking, but they're both carrying American flags. And to be uniform, you're all wearing the same clothes. And you walk down the street, and let's see, does she still feel this way if the person carrying the flag was a white person or a black person versus a white person? Who knows? I don't. The only person who could actually relate to that question would be Quincy, who hosts the show Reckoning, who hosts the show on our network called The Reckoning. It's on 10 o'clock Eastern time. You can look him up or just watch on ptnn.tv and see his show, or he's on YouTube as well. But I've heard people call him a white supremacist, or one person said, "Do you identify as a black person?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I'm black." Like, people are so dumb. People are so dumb. This lady is one of them. It's so dumb. And to say that the American flag, and I don't need to do the whole montage again of all the different, should I? Nah, I don't need to. But I'm going to, because I don't know how anyone could view this as disrespectful. I really don't. Or this. How is this disrespectful? The only thing that's disrespectful about it is that I'm in the picture. Because those are heroes. How is this disrespectful? And how can you say that this flag is disturbing? You know what's disturbing? A police officer's funeral is disturbing. Terrorist attacks on United States soil are disturbing. Military members coming home that is disturbing. The fact that we have to go to war to save other countries and lose hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of American troops in all these wars. That's disturbing. The fact that this is even a talking point, that I even need to talk about this right now, is disturbing. It's wrong, man. You know, there's not much more I could say about it, man. Because it's just frustrating, because at some point I'm like, okay, when does it have to stop? Like at some point, like I always used to say, common sense will kick in eventually, but now I'm questioning it. Is common sense even, does it play a factor here? Or does people so full of this bullshit that they're convinced? They're convinced that the American flag is a flag of racism and all that stuff. Why do people hate? Oh God. You don't even know the history. All these people that are complaining about conservatives and conservatives are racist. Look at your history. Which political party is the one that is a racist party? Again, newsflash, it's not conservatives. It's not the GOP. But nobody seems to care about that anymore. The only thing people care about is just sitting and blaming everyone else for their problems. Everyone else. And that is like the go-to. Someone said, what's disturbing to me is that you don't understand what's going on. Research CRT, this is all. Do you not? You don't watch my show enough. We all know what critical race theory is. You know, in fact, probably not this week because I have too much stuff going on with getting unpacked and all that. But next week, I'm going to do a whole show, and I'm probably going to start earlier, probably at 6, to do a full 2-hour show about CRT and the dangers of it. and why. I mean, everyone's already done it too, but I think some people just don't understand. It's just, man, it's crazy. CRT is racist. You can't, here's the thing, you can't teach people to not be racist by being racist. That's what the whole movement is. That's what's going on in our country right now. That's what the whole Black Lives Matter thing is. Remember, it's perfectly acceptable to be like Black Lives Matter, but you can't say White Lives Matter or anything like that. You can't do it. You could say Black Power all day, but if you say White Power, you're a racist. I mean, I can't go into a bank and say, hey, I want a loan because I'm a white dude, or I don't have any special privileges that way. I don't get college grants because I'm a white guy. You know what I mean? I can't walk into a bank and get, preference over loans because I'm a minority. I certainly can't get preference in even doing interviews with Lori Lightfoot. But for some, or even now, apply for PPP loans. You got to be a minority. And now people are starting to get wise and they're suing because it's freaking racist. But the other people say, well, it's to help their communities, and I don't have the answer to how to make poverty go away. I certainly do not. But I can tell you the best way to help fight poverty and to help fight crime and to help make our country, start to rebuild is by 1, funding police, 2, funding communities. And that's a very liberal view. At least I believe it is. A lot of you guys are like, we've tried that several times. I don't care. We should dump more monies into these communities. Make it so people have jobs, have opportunity where people can start their own businesses. Do you know what? It's funny. So and here's the truth. This is how easy it is to get up and do stuff. So I have in my, adult life, I've lost thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars on the stock market. Ask my wife. Thousands and thousands. I used to get the Wall Street Journal when I lived in Jersey, and I'd read it every day, and I'd pick these stocks, and the next day I'd be like, do, and I'd buy the stock, and I'd watch all my money go away. And it's always been a hobby of mine. And every now and then I'd make, $2,000, $3,000 before I cashed out. But then I started doing something different. So I haven't messed around, besides 401ks and IRAs and self-directed stuff like that. I hadn't messed around with just putting money in stocks. Well, the whole AMC, and I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving any financial advice. But I jumped on that whole AMC bandwagon. And I didn't jump early. I think I bought it at like 30 or something like that. And I sat and I bought it at 30, and then it went up to 68 at the highest, and I sold it. And I made $700 or something like that in profits. 900. I don't even remember how much it was. It was 30 something. It worked out to be like $790 in profit off $1,000. So what did I do then? I took that $790 out, kept that $1,000 in, invested it in a different stock. And, you know, I've just been watching and spending maybe an hour a day, invested that, made $200 that day, sold all the stocks at the end of the day, kept that $1,000 in, took the $200 out. And every single day I've been doing that. And every single day I've been making, take that back. Not every single day. There was one day where I lost, I think $200 or $300, and I kept that 700 or the $300 that I lost. So it was 700 that was left there. And I just reinvested that. And then the stock went back up to the 1,000. And every single day, it doesn't matter if it was $1,007. Every single day I transferred out that difference to keep the $1,000 that I originally started with. And you know what? For over a week, I've made nearly a full-time income just doing that. So when people say there's not, enough, and I'm not suggesting that everybody go and do that, because there's a tremendous amount of research going into it. It's like these videos. Everyone's like, oh, you just make a video, you buy a camera, you buy a computer, blah, blah, blah. You're good. It actually takes a tremendous amount of time. I spend a couple of hours during the day researching what I'm going to talk about. And then I spend the whole hour before, I go live at 7. So I spend from 6 to 7 getting ready to do what I have to do for the show. Normally, we're going to have better graphics and all that stuff. But right now, I don't have the time, because I'm still getting the move done. It's taken a lot longer than I ever thought it would. I have a trailer full of lawn furniture. I just couldn't even offload it. I got home today and I'm like, I can't even deal with it. And now the worst part is I have to offload that early in the morning and then go drop the trailer off to come back here to work, to then go back and pick up the trailer to drive it to North Carolina. Someone said, you make an income by not using your back. I don't know what that means. People can make money by doing the whole point of me saying that is there's so many different ways to make money. Hell, right now you can go to pretty much any job and they're hiring, because there's someone else that's not going to work. I'm just saying that I hate it when people say there's no opportunity. There's plenty of opportunity. You just have to go out and do it. I am a 36, almost 37-year-old man, never once filed for unemployment. Not that there's anything wrong with unemployment, just never once filed for it. You know why? Because I've always been able to go and get a different job. If I worked construction and I got fired or got laid off, I'd go and take another job. And it didn't even matter what it was. And I'd work that until I got tired of that and would work a different job. My wife said, my son said the other day, he's like, Dad, how many jobs have you had? You've been done construction, you've been bouncers, security, firefighter, now you're a podcast guy. I've done it all, and I like it. Trucking, I've done it all. I don't know, man. I guess I don't understand is laziness the wrong word for it? I don't know any other word. If you just sit at home collecting unemployment, and there's one thing if you're a skilled trade guy and you can't find anything comparative, but hell, you could probably make more literally going right now to a pizza place and working. And at least then, you're not, whatever. It's just crazy. The whole thing that's crazy. So we have some trolls on Lady Katie 1. Why don't you just go to a different page on YouTube? I'm going to read the super chats now, and then we're going to wrap up the show. People are so dumb. Oh, God, I got to go back to do it the other way. We only have a couple of super chats, which is fine. I don't even know if there are comments on there. But this is what I'm going to do at the end of every show, because I'm trying not to pay attention to the chat, so much, during the show, so I can actually get through stuff. And then people like Lady Katie don't get me all riled up. See, but I just said you're a goofball and you're banned, and then move on. But yeah, see, even this video, the video I'm doing right now is Why is it showing 2? Well, that's weird. So I have 2 live streams going on right now with the same video. I don't understand that one. On YouTube? Yeah, I don't know what happened there. They have different... something must have screwed up. Anyway, how do I go do this to see these super chats? Sorry, I should have been prepared. Brian said to buy more flags. Yes, sir. Gronak the Destroyer said, hey, it's Steve from New Zealand. Our government has made... How come it's not showing? Black Panther propaganda mandatory in schools. They openly called for the skulls of white folk. I got banned for telling my family that's what they were doing. Wow. That's crazy. Someone else said there's no American flag, but they have a rainbow. What the hell? Yeah. And then someone else asked, what about BLM protesters at polling places in Richmond? Yeah, I mean, that happened. Police were called out. It was a harrowing situation in Portland. But here's the thing is, these protests suck, and they're going to do it, and there's no accountability for it at all. Yeah, they're worried about, the fact that armed guards were going to go to polling stations, but you literally had a group of BLM protesters, chastising people as they went in to cast votes today in Richmond, Virginia. Nothing. It's not on the news. Nobody cares about it. It doesn't matter. But I guarantee if that was a group of people that were sitting out there going, hey, have a good day. Thank you for doing your constitutional duty. And they were, Trump supporters or people that had American flags on, it would be on CNN for voter intimidation, and people would have came down and kicked in the doors and all that stuff. But just because it happens to be BLM protesting, and we saw that last year, we covered it live. Well, the BLM protesters, I think it was in Los Angeles, they actually broke into a polling location. Those are crimes. There are crimes that were committed right on the air live. They did it. They even deleted their video because they realized they committed crimes afterwards. And we had it. We broadcast it live. I offered that footage to the police. I offered it to the DA. Nobody was willing to do anything. Nobody cares anymore. But again, if that was a group of people that were out there supporting Trump and they happened to do that, I guarantee with 100% certainty that there would be feds kicking in their door. But that's just the life we live. But what can you do? The only thing we could do is keep going on. We can all get our peace in mind. If Loza keeps putting out new music, for anyone that was curious, the song that we use as our intro, that's Loza Alexander. You can look him up, Loza's Life. He's an independent artist that is making his way downtown. I don't even know why I just did that. I'm tired. So let me talk real quick before the end of this show. Let me talk real quick about this. If you're unfamiliar with this, well, I'll make you familiar. So we are building something incredible, and it's everyone that's doing it with PT News. April is has a part. She's always going to have a family, a home here at PT News. Damn it, I can't get this to work properly. Hold on. So right now, if you look on your this is just an overlay. It's not working properly. Anyway, I can't get this to scroll up. Why won't it scroll? All right, so there you go. So we are currently running an Indiegogo right now, a campaign. We are building an app called Citizen Stringer. Actually, in the next couple of days, you're going to start seeing the PT News Network website is going to change. Now, PT News is still going to exist. It's just now under the umbrella of Citizen Media Group, which is now, it owns PT News Network. Anyway, we are building an app. And this app is going to be legendary. It's going to house all the PT News and the content that's there. But the bigger functionality of the app is it's going to be a user-supported media news. You're going to be able to submit your own news, your own videos, your own breaking news, in addition to having the videos for you to be able to search through, kind of like a TikTok, but for the news. In addition to having that, you'll also be able to make money off of your videos. This will house all of our shows, the PT News shows and everything. The website I'm showing you right now it's not scrolling well because I have it like embedded, but it's not scrolling well. But this is the Indiegogo website, and the link is in the description, and April will likely put it in all the chats too. And as you can see, we raised some serious money for it. The whole app development is going to cost roughly $200,000. It's probably going to cost quite a bit more. And we're going to build it as anyway, but there's different perks you can do and all that stuff if you want to get involved with that. April's going to put the link in there. I think there's 30 more days in the campaign, and then we will close it out and we'll get going. But the app is going to be amazing. And like I said, with that app, we're going to launch a radio station through the app. So it's going to be all these shows plus other shows and things. We're going to have a ton of on-demand content. All of my shows will live stream to it. Freedom Flashpoint, The Reckoning, a bunch of new shows that are going to be coming on with new hosts. Those will all be directly through the app. It's so instead of having to go to PT News to get your news and PTNN to watch the live streams or YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it's all going to be on one platform. And then it's going to be a community that you guys are on. There's going to be forums and chats, and you'll be able to do the videos and comment on it, everybody else's video. So if you're sitting in a traffic jam and you see a helicopter landing and you think it's newsworthy, you're able to do it. Or if you're at a protest, you can go and click a video and make a video of it and have that content up there. And then eventually we're going to build a reward system in there so you're able to get compensated for the views and all that. There's a whole pile of stuff that we're building with that app. So it's happening regardless of whether we make that money or not, because I've already signed the papers. It's already happening. Because I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So in the next week or so, you'll start seeing some new branding. PT News is, even though it's now going to be under Citizen Media Group, Citizen Stringer is going to kind of become, overtake PT News as the general umbrella for everything. And the website is, or the app is going to be awesome. Like I can't even put it into words. And if you watch some of the earlier videos, there's so much more that we're talking about every day. And I'm like, hey, wait, I have this idea. And I'm like, can you do this? And they're like, yeah, we're already going to do it anyway. And I'm like, this is awesome. So I'd appreciate all you guys if you could do that and support it if you want. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to have, it's going to be simulated live. So because I have something to do tomorrow evening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a video and then it'll air live. So it'll look like this and it will be like this and it will blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to be there to answer super chats and all that stuff because I'll be driving back from Northern Virginia. But yeah. But I appreciate all of you guys for watching. I appreciate everyone for being here. And shout out to Loza again. And I'm still here. Hold on.